What is up, you guys? Welcome to the Selflish Podcast. I am your host, Luke Wynn, with my lovely, beautiful, special co-host,
Diana Wynn.
How are you doing today, baby?
I am so good. I'm so excited to finally be doing this podcast.
Me too. I think the world has needed this for a very long time,
Yes.
and I'm glad that we're about to give it to them.
Yes, I'm so excited.
So just welcome, you guys. This is the first episode of the Selflish Podcast. We have so much in store for you guys. Right now, we're just, we're going to talk about the main thing we're going to touch today is going to be just about, the brand Selflish. We're going to talk about a few different things today, but before we get into it, is there anything that you've always wanted to tell me that you've never had the guts to say not in front of a camera?
That I secretly like to, I don't know. You know everything about me. There's no secrets.
Okay, that's good because I just want to prepare myself, because if you say something that I don't know about, I'm going to have to try to keep a straight face. I don't want to be like,
is there something you want to tell me?
no,
Yeah,
nope, you know
so.
everything.
Yes.
Okay, you guys, so we'll just get straight to it. Selflish. I know you guys are probably trying to figure out what that even means.
Yes. Do you want to start with telling them? Or?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and tell you guys.
Okay.
Excuse me if I stutter a lot. By week 20, I promise you I'm not going to stutter as much.
Yes, it'll get way better.
So, selflish. So, obviously, there's two words that sound similar to this, which is
Selfless and selfish.
our goal by the end of this episode is to get you guys to stumble on saying selfless and selfish. Because selfish, the more you say selfish, everything else becomes confusing.
Yes, it becomes harder to say selfish and selfless. Like you just want to say selfish.
Yeah,
after you learn
because it's just it's so much easier because it combines both of them.
It is.
Which is exactly the point.
Yes.
So my wife and I were talking a few months ago as we were trying to figure out our brand. We were coming up with our designs with Teeny. Shout out to Teeny.
Yes.
Who actually designed this. Sorry.
And
this
this.
one. And this.
And
these.
And there's more that you guys haven't seen, which is so awesome.
It's going to be dope.
Awesome.
Trust me, you guys are going to love everything. But as we were discussing our branding and stuff like that, we knew that we wanted to make it strongly about self-love, self-love, self-care and all that stuff. But we were trying to figure out the perfect word to really encapsulate everything that we want to say, because we were saying that right now we have selfish, which pretty much means, you're all about yourself. You're kind of arrogant, egotistical. There's so much negativity that goes with selfish. And then on the opposite end, there's the selfless, which is, you care about everybody except yourself, And me and my wife were saying that in our lives, we realized that there was a constant struggle because it's you're in a tug of war on when to be selfish, when to be selfless,
Even though you never really want to be selfish. That was the thing. Whenever you didn't want to use the word selfish am I being too selfish? Or sometimes I want to be selfish, but immediately you get that guilt trip. No, selfish is just bad.
Yeah, it's there's a dark cloud over
Yeah.
anything that has to do with yourself,
Mm-hmm.
And then there's people who just they own it, and they're okay, whatever. If this is negative, that's what I'm going to be.
Mm-hmm.
So really, what we were trying to do with selfish is bridge that gap, because they're just two extremes.
Yes.
So it's there has to be. We were literally I remember we were in that Mirage studio. We were just talking. Shout out to Tom Gordon, and we were talking for 2 hours, just trying to figure out how do we say this? How do we put it into words? And then I said,
even though we weren't really trying to come up with a thing or a concept or we weren't trying to come up with we were just just kind of it was just an idea. It was just literally there's no word for it. Oh yeah, why don't we just? I guess we were just that bored.
We weren't even bored. We were focused.
I don't know,
because we were trying to figure it out. So first I said,
exactly,
we can rebrand selfish. That's what I said. Remember that? I said we can just say, you know what, I'm selfish, and we can own that negativity, but make it light.
Yeah.
And then we it kind of let through. She was like, I don't know. Then we drove home, and then my wife was like, I know selfish on the way home, and I was like, that's perfect. Like, it was the most perfect word ever.
Yeah, I'm glad he liked it because I was sure I was like, this sounds so dumb, but I'm just gonna tell him.
It sounds weird when you first hear it, but then like it makes so much sense understanding the meaning behind it.
And then my husband, his English major at UNR.
That hasn't got me a job yet. Go on.
Yes, but it got you the definition to this, which is great. I didn't have to come up with that.
Yeah, for real.
So do you want to tell him what it is?
You can tell them.
You can tell them.
I just told them your part.
That's
okay, fine. The exact definition, and we have it on a shirt, which you can purchase in June. Yes. We'll get to that later, is love and concern for oneself while extending similar virtues towards others. Mm-hmm. And basically, we want it to be, you have self-love and you care about yourself, and that doesn't negate the fact that you care about other people,
Yes.
Because a lot of times it's with selfish or selfless, it's either or. You're either going to be selfish in this moment, or you're a selfish person, or you're either selfless and you're going to be selfless in these moments. But with this word, it's a perpetual, constantly considering other people and constantly considering yourself.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, so it's really cool. I mean, and my wife, we definitely have actually been on our life journeys have taken us to this place, Like it's everything that we've gone through has brought us to this point where we're finally content in knowing that there are times when we have to be most considerate for ourselves, but there's other times where we have to be considerate towards others, in our actions and the things that we do and the places that we go. It's like a constant mindfulness.
And I think that the awesome thing about this is that I'm the type of person who loves to, when I learn something or just I learn something new or something that just gets me really excited, I love sharing it. I just want to share it with everybody. And I love the fact that I can share this concept with people and they immediately they're like, oh my God, you see like a spark in their eye because they can totally relate. Everybody has gone or is going through a situation where they have to choose between being selfish or being selfless. And it's perfect because now there's a word that you don't have to choose between those two words. And now you say selfish and you're like, and that's fine. And then you feel like this peace and you're like, I'm going to go with that.
Exactly. And I think that's awesome. The biggest thing too, because it's like a lot of times I know for me, I wouldn't even be able to enjoy a cheeseburger. I wouldn't be able to enjoy a cheeseburger knowing that there's other people in the house who hasn't eaten yet. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, I'm being so selfish. It's like that seems super small, but it's like if I only have $1, I shouldn't feel guilty for buying myself some food when I don't have enough to buy other people,
Or when you get food and then you come home and you didn't know they were there.
Yeah, exactly. You just feel so guilty when you do anything for yourself. But this concept of selfish is not, it takes the guilt away from feeling like anything that you do for yourself is bad because you have to do more for other people. And vice versa.
But it's crazy because I feel like in life there are so many opportunities to get to where you want to get to. Say you have goals or whatever where you want to be in 5 years or what career you want to have. And I feel like we are hit with constant decisions where we have to choose whether we're selfish or selfless. And it's crazy because a lot of times I feel, especially coming from a home where we grew up without my mom just having to work all the time to provide for us, and we never really being able to see her. And I'm sure I'm not the only one in that. There's so many of us who grew up like that, just seeing our parents just working. And I feel like we were taught to just be selfless or whatever, or just we were taught and we saw
consider everybody except yourself.
Yes, that's where I want to get to consider everyone else except for yourself, because that's what our parents did. My mom did. It makes me sad to think about a lot of things. I'm like, even though I'm glad because what she does now, she's a business owner and she's just great at it and she's amazing at everything she does, and she enjoys it, which it was a blessing that she was able to to do something that she loves, because not a lot of people get to when they have to work hard because they have so many kids to feed and all these things. But you grow up seeing that, to just put everyone else's needs before you. So then when you get older, you think that's what you have to do. But then in life we get when we're trying to get to where we want to be, our goals, our dreams, or whatever, especially this generation, we're all about like getting or taking care of yourself and just get like grinding to get to where you want to be and all those things. But a lot of times we'll stop ourselves from getting there because we're like, oh, but I'm being so selfish.
Exactly.
Like that's not what my mom did, or that's not what I saw. So you feel this guilt, and you end up pleasing everyone else, caring about what everyone else's opinion about literally what career you have to have, what you're good at, what you should wear, what religion you should be, who you should date, like things like that. Everywhere, like everyone's always gonna have an opinion. But if you are constantly just caring about others before you and not taking care of yourself, of course you can't also be like an extreme and be super selfish and only think about yourself. It's gonna affect you, and you're never gonna get to where you have to be.
It literally will cripple you.
Yes, it will.
I know so many people who they stopped their career, their education, because of the feeling of, okay, I have to do this, or if I leave, what is my family going to do without me? Or what about my friends, or what about my relationships? There's people there's like high school kids who are in relationships, and to where they don't even leave to go to a good college because of their boyfriend or their girlfriend. I've
also seen like parents also be like, oh, you just want to leave because you want to do whatever you want.
But it's like at a certain point you have to realize like I love and care about everybody else, but you have to care about yourself, because if you don't love yourself, how's anybody else going to love you?
And not only that, eventually people go on with their lives, and you literally stay with your decision forever.
A lot of times we think that we're so vital in other people's lives, but in reality, sometimes we can leave and they can find somebody else to fill that gap really quickly. When you're on an airplane, this is our favorite quote is, when you're on an airplane, they tell you not to if everything goes wrong, don't put the mask on your kids first, put it on yourself first, because you have to save yourself before you can save somebody else. You have to help yourself before you can help other people. And a lot of times we see in this generation a lot of people who we're scarred, we're hurting, we're broken. There's things that we've gone through, and there's like so much in our hearts that we're dealing with, but life just continues on. So we have kids, we get in relationships, and we suppress everything that we're dealing with, and we try to save other people. We try to cultivate life in other people before we ever even cultivated life within ourselves. And what happens is eventually you begin to self-destruct, because you can only go so far with all the hurt and the brokenness, because at a certain point you're going to start to hurt other people by accident. Like my wife said, hurt people. So if I have a bunch of hurt that I'm constantly carrying around, but I'm the selfless person who would rather save everybody else, I'm only going to be so effective, because I still like that hurt is going to be bleeding through me. So there's like a toxicity that's going to just be coming through me.
Yes, and eventually you're going to hurt the people that you were trying to help. It's kind of crazy how that works. It seems ironic, but it happens.
Yeah, it's like we feel guilty for doing anything to better ourselves because of others. But if we don't better ourselves first and then help others, we're not going to even do what we want to do.
Yeah, and something that I love, just because we grew up, in a faith-based home, or we grew up Christian, going to church. The Bible talks about, God says that we have to love others like we love ourselves.
Yeah.
And I heard that all my life, and I feel like I never, like that was always playing in my mind, and somehow that equals being selfless. That quote, that verse in the Bible meant being selfless and just putting yourself last and being humble, and all those things go hand in hand. And when you're a Christian, that's what it means. You don't, So I grew up thinking about that, but then I was really thinking about it, and I feel like it was God who led me to see that it was like, okay, wait a minute. First you have to first it says you got to love yourself first.
Yeah.
And then you can love everyone else like you love yourself. So it's like, with that said, it's like, first it's really important for you to love yourself, because
so you can know how to love.
Yes. Otherwise, you're just gonna be a mess.
Yeah, because if you don't love yourself, there's certain things that you do to damage yourself on accident, you know? There's certain habits that we have when we don't care about ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, for example, eating, right? I don't care. I'm a slob, so I'm just going to eat unhealthy. That you can carry that trait over to other people that you love and then allow them to eat unhealthy. And then you guys are both going to be unhealthy. First, if you love yourself enough to, and this is just an example, but if you love yourself enough to eat healthy, you're going to understand that, you know, eating healthy, you have a longer life, you're healthier, you know, there's certain problems that you avoid. And then you'll extend that same thing to the people who you love. You know, you won't give your kids certain foods because you understand that I want you to live a long and healthy life. So this is what it's going to take because I love you, you know?
Yeah. Or just the fact that if you don't love yourself, the fact that you don't take time to work on yourself. You don't take time to sit back and like just think about what you need, what like just pay attention to what your emotions are telling you. Or a lot of times we suppress all those things, and we don't take time to just be like, wait, why am I feeling that? Why do I feel like I want to cry? Or why do I feel like, why do I feel so much anger right now? And we don't stop because we don't think about ourselves, and then we carry that on for years and years and years, and we have like, we might not even see that we're doing, like there's like a certain pattern that we're living that is very toxic or just bad for us, and we don't see it because we don't take time to stop and just think about ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. When I was teaching at a middle school, I was failing classes. I was like substitute teaching, and I was in college at the same time. I was failing classes. I was like dropping classes. My graduation kept getting pushed further and further because like I loved these kids so much, and I wanted to help these kids so much. And one day the principal told me, he said, at one point you have to be selfish, because you have to say, I have to put my career path in front, and I have to put my goals in front of this job, because if I don't, I'm always going to be, you know, a step behind. And a few months later, one of the kids who I love the most, he lied on me to his mom, and she came to school ready to fight me. And that really hurt me. That hurt me so much. But that taught me such a valuable lesson, because you think that you're so needed that you have to be selfless and give everything to everybody else. But you're literally hurting yourself. And honestly, sometimes in our minds, we make a bigger deal out of things than what it actually is, you know? So I think that was like my first moment of selfishness, which is the whole time I was in there, you always want to set boundaries. I love teaching, I love these kids, but at the same time, I'm going somewhere too in my life, you know? And I think that's really what we're trying to push is, it's all right to love yourself, love other people, be concerned with yourself, concerned with others, consider yourself, consider others, be mindful of yourself, be mindful of others. But at the end of the day, you want to understand that like sometimes people may feel some kind of way, like with the choice that you make in your life.
That's okay.
It's okay. It's just a Band-Aid, you know?
That's okay.
Because they're always, if you feel like your family is going to be disappointed in a decision that you make, if you can honestly look at their decision and understand, if you can honestly look at that and you understand that that decision and that choice that you're going to make is actually going to benefit you in the long run and later benefit them as well, just go for that, you know? A lot of times we get scared because of that, but I think in hindsight, after everything's said and done, your family's going to love you, your friends are going to be proud of you, especially if they're real, because they understand once everything's said and done what you were doing. A lot of times when you make tough decisions and make really difficult choices, people don't get it. People don't understand it. But 2 years from now, 5 years from now, where you're on the level that you set out to be, and you can actually benefit them even more, and at the end, they'll get it, you know?
And I also think even whenever you are making a decision and people are upset over it or they don't want you to do that, and you end up making the decision and you make a mistake, oh well.
Yeah.
Like you made a mistake, it wasn't what you thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
But guess what? At least you're going to be that much wiser.
Yeah.
You're always going to gain something from it. Yeah. It's okay. It's not just like you're not always going to have a perfect outcome, but it's okay to make a mistake. It's to being a mistake while you're being selfish.
Yeah, it's exactly because you learn from your mistakes, and a lot of times we do think that that's, I don't know. I think we just create these huge scenarios in our lives, in our minds, to where it's like, if I try something and it doesn't work out, I'm going to feel stupid. I'm going to be embarrassed. I have to go back. I have to have the walk of shame back to my parents and admit to them that they're right.
That has been my biggest struggle, I think. Like, just the fear of like, I've always been so afraid, and I feel like that's what has stopped me from doing so much, because I've always been so afraid of what people are gonna think, or just more than anything of looking stupid, or looking dumb, or just looking dumb. Like, people saying, "Oh my God, she's so stupid. Like, she's so dumb," or whatever. But I feel like people say that regardless.
Exactly.
Even if I don't try, I'm gonna do stupid things. I'm gonna look dumb. Like,
people are gonna talk about you regardless of if you make that choice or not.
Which is so crazy, because then here I am, then like years later, being like, "Oh my God, I should have done that before. I should have done that years ago. I should have done this." But, and even now, I feel like that's my one of my biggest struggles, is just honestly being selfish, like making decisions without, like, oh my gosh, sweating and being like, "Oh my God, I'm so nervous to do that, because," or to ask this person, or to ask that question, or have that talk, or let that person know that I think differently about this thing, because I don't know, what if they shun me, or what if, it's just crazy.
And it's all a mental thing. It's literally all inside your head, because I was thinking the same thing as we're talking. I'm just like, had I been selfish earlier in my life, I wonder where I would be now. Honestly, I'm glad I wasn't, because I met you. We have a beautiful family, But going forward, I want to have this attitude of selfishness, because I don't want to like hinder what God is trying to do in our lives, because I'm too worried or too concerned about other things,
Yeah, and it's a challenge. It's a challenge for you guys, for everyone that's listening. It's a challenge for us all the time. I don't think it's ever gonna stop being a struggle to be selfish, for whatever reason, but I think it's something that we can start practicing.
Exactly. The more you practice it, especially in the little things, it's going to help you in the long run.
Yeah. Are you going to cry?
No, I'm not going to cry. I just have to burp.
You're
going to cry. You're going to cry.
No,
my goal is to have her cry in this episode, so we're going to talk about some deep stuff.
If I cry, it's just, I just had a baby, so it's the hormones still.
No, she had a baby 3 weeks ago. No, but I don't know. I mean, I'm really enjoying this topic. And I really would love to know what you guys think about this idea of selflessness. That's another one, selfishness. Because, I mean, I think a lot of us do. We just become crippled and imprisoned to others because of that feeling of being selfless. And then other people feel guilty for thinking about themselves. So we're here to balance you guys out. Let us know what you think. Oh, like and subscribe. Let me see. Anything else to say about selfish?
No, that's pretty much it. Like, we could go on forever talking about so many situations, which is so awesome. I think it's such a good, you guys can try it. Like, just share this word with someone else, and you'll see how this will lead onto like a never ending conversation.
Yeah.
And it'll lead to you opening up. It's happened already. Like, it's really awesome how my husband and I have seen it, and we're like, okay, this is crazy. We just want to tell people about our idea, and it sparks up a conversation, and it just makes people open up. It's really amazing.
Yeah, it's really dope. It's dope, and also the designs are dope too. Okay, so moving on. Okay, so we're gonna talk about a few topics today.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. The first topic is coronavirus. How you been feeling? First of all,
I feel great. I'm healthy.
Thank God. Me too. And we do not take that for granted. And honestly, our prayers are going out for all those who have been affected tragically by this situation. I know some of us are frustrated because we're quarantining and we're stuck inside, but I mean, this is real life. You feel me? So we don't take this for granted, and we're definitely being mindful of other people.
Yeah, I'm so thankful. I literally thank God every day or at night whenever I pray, because we're healthy. Like, we are so blessed that all of our family, like, we're all healthy, and none of us have been sick. I was honestly freaking out for a little bit because I was gonna have my baby during like the peak time. And I was low-key freaking out, especially because they were talking about how they weren't letting anybody in there. I was like, I was so sad and so scared to even think that my husband, not even my husband, I wanted my mom to be there, to think that my husband wouldn't be there. It was really, really tough. And I'm so glad that in Washoe County, we wasn't just like crazy, because they actually allowed him to be there.
And not only was I there, I cut the umbilical cord. I recorded the whole thing. It was amazing. DM me if you want to see the video. It's crazy, you guys. Like, no, honestly, if I can prove to myself that I could be on time for work like 2 weeks in a row, I probably will go back to medical school. But I will go to medical school, because it's a pretty amazing thing. Like, what doctors do, you guys are the true heroes. Shout out to all my nurses, my doctors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What did your gynecologist
They were
name?
so awesome.
Yeah, they were awesome. Shout out to Rachel. She gave us, she got us a suite, which was super nice. Oh my gosh. Like, it was like being in a hotel room during this time. So it's like such a blessing, because who's getting suites right now, you know?
Right.
Like,
And we stayed there 2 days.
2 days. Okay. Other things about the quarantine is the fact that we have spent a lot of time together the past couple months.
Well, not only that, literally since I got pregnant, because I had to quit my job.
No, I'm saying I didn't work for like a full month.
That's
I was
true.
at home. Me and Ellie were making beats. You were pregnant. We were chilling.
We've just been spending a lot of time.
How's it been?
It's been great. It's like bittersweet, because all of a sudden, like without like notice, you went back to work.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden, like right when I have the baby, you have to go back to work.
And honestly, like, I probably, if we didn't have a baby, if it was a boy, I probably would have like not went to work. But like, I gotta spoil her, so because the boy, I'm gonna be like, nah, he good.
No, I would have made.
We'll keep eating peanut butter sandwiches.
No, it's bittersweet, because now you're gone, and I feel really lonely.
I'm sorry, but honestly, though, having a baby girl has changed me a lot.
I know.
Like, it's definitely made me feel so much more responsible, and it's just
I'm
like,
so glad.
Everything that we do now is like, I wouldn't say I was careless. I was, maybe I was careless, but
with some things.
With certain things, but I'm just like, having a baby girl is just different, man. I don't know how to explain it. It's like, she's so perfect and beautiful, and she's amazing.
Sorry, guys.
No, I'm just saying. I'm sorry. The baby's like right here in her lap.
So we keep looking at her little face.
No, but it's changed me a lot. But having her over the quarantine, I'm glad that we did get to spend a month together without the baby, you know.
Yeah.
And then now we had the baby, and I don't know. I think it's cool. I don't know.
Me too.
The city's low-key opening back up. I went to BJ's on Sunday. I waited there for, an hour and 45 minutes?
For a pazookie,
guys. Pazookie. 2 pazookies. 3 pazookies, and 2 of them were lame.
Yeah, and yes, you could tell they
didn't even
whatever. They just threw it on there and threw it in the thing.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, yo, you guys literally microwave these things.
It was so sad. I was so disappointed, and I was so annoyed, because we waited for an hour and a half, right?
Yeah.
For pazookies. I mean, I understand, but we were in the car waiting for an hour and a half for crappy pazookies. Yeah. I mean, we got a $10 discount, though, which was pretty great.
But, I mean, yeah, I don't know. But I will say this. Next week, if I'm coughing, it's because of that BJ's experience, because you couldn't eat inside of BJ's. But the social distancing in there was pretty horrible. Like, there was like 150 people in there. And they only had 2 stickers of like where to stand, the distance to stand away from. So if I'm coughing next week, I'm suing the crap out of BJ's. No, I'm suing them because they're not doing things right. Anyhow, I pray that that's not going to happen, because I got kids and kids to feed. Yeah, but the city's opening back up. Are you excited? Do you want to go on a date, or how are you feeling? Like, do you want to go back out already?
Not really.
Me neither.
I don't really care.
We just got a new house that's really nice. So
yes.
It's like really comfortable.
We got a new place, and
thank you, Jesus.
Yes, we like.
Shout out to Big Will.
And Mom.
And Mama.
I just really enjoy being home.
Yeah,
I really enjoy being home with kids, and it's honestly really hard to go out with babies. So, and I don't mind not having her around everybody.
That's true. Yeah. I'm kind of disappointed at that movie. I think because we have a baby, it doesn't matter.
No.
We wouldn't be able to go bowling. Wouldn't be able to go to the movies. Wouldn't be able to do anything right now anyways.
No.
Like, because she can't do it.
She's so tiny.
I mean, she's a cute girl. I think all she needs is If you're feeding her while we're at the movie, she'd be good. But I'm not in a rush to do anything. And I'm really excited because, you know, we have our home office and we're like starting this brand and stuff like that too. So I'm pretty excited about. I mean, yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm nervous about the city opening up because it just doesn't seem like whatever. I mean, we tried to flatten the curve, but if everybody all of a sudden goes back out and everybody gets sick, it's just gonna spike back up, making the whole quarantine.
I
pointless.
honestly do not think that's gonna happen.
Okay.
Like, I really don't think that's gonna happen, but I could see why you'd say that.
Yeah, I'm just nervous about it because
I think so many of us are, but
so every
it's
day,
gonna have to happen.
every day at the jail, like every week, the sheriff he sends these updates on the coronavirus and stuff like that, and he tries to be happy about it, but then it's just like stuff just keeps happening, you know. Like today, so last week, 120 people were tested for coronavirus.
At the jail?
Mm-hmm. Employees. Nobody had it. Great. However, RPD, Reno Police Officer, he has it. And he was in contact with a few of the employees at the sheriff's office. So it was just like, and he was asymptomatic. I'm sorry. So he didn't know he had it, and he went in contact with a few of the employees, and now they're sent home. So it was like we take one step forward, but we just keep taking it like 1.5 steps back, you know?
That's true.
Yeah, so it's just like, I don't know.
But it's like, how long are we gonna wait also to reopen everything? Like, until we have a shot?
Baby,
I'm
dropping an album tonight, so I'm just like, I wish that the city can open up tomorrow because I would love to rap these songs live. But I don't know. That's why I'm not a surgeon, a governor, or the president. I'm a rapper, so I have no idea like what to do in this situation. But it does make me kind of worry, you know, not worry, but it just makes you like
a little skeptical.
Yeah, like we're opening up the city after nothing was resolved. Like I don't know if we even have enough tests if the worst case scenario happened, you know.
Well,
and then everything is like, oh no, this is the worst that it's gonna be. Then some scientist from Stanford is just like, oh no, this is definitely not the worst that it's gonna be. It's still gonna spike in July, or you know, it's like you hear so much in the news, and on Twitter, and on Facebook.
Which is why I don't like seeing everything, to be honest, when it comes to that.
Yeah. So, anything else about the coronavirus?
No. I hope it goes away.
The month that I didn't go to work, I taught Ellie how to produce beats, and he's dope. He's gonna have some videos too. Yeah. And I'm gonna get on some of his beats. So I'm just grateful that just like it was for me, and I don't want to be like, you know, like dismiss like the people who have gotten sick and stuff like that. But for me, it's been like a blessing in disguise because like my job situation has gotten better. Like I got to spend so much time with you and Ellie, you know. Like we're starting our brand and stuff like that. We're just in a different place than we were in before the coronavirus.
Yeah, well, I think that
it's such a blessing. Like I don't take it for granted.
I feel like it's been really tough for many people, and for others that has been even tougher. Yeah. But I feel like if we would try, there's always like a good thing out of these things, like whether it was spending more time with your family, or even though you're worried about this, but then you have this, like there's always like a positive. And
there's like so many people I know who are starting businesses and stuff like that too. It's so interesting because like you can see the light even in the darkness, you know. Yeah. So I think that's like super cool, and I mean I'm just so happy for everybody. Like we're starting our business, we didn't get the stimulus check, but you know there's people who got that check and it's just like, okay, cool, they can utilize that for their businesses and stuff like that. And you know, this like 30 days off, and people who haven't had no job, like when I was just sitting at home, you realize like you have to figure out other means of what to do, you know. So you find a passion and something that you're good at, and you know, start businesses. So shout out to everybody who's on their entrepreneurial grind.
Yes.
Shout outs to you.
So proud of you guys.
Okay. Oh, next thing I want to talk about is briefly about Michael Todd's message this past Sunday.
You can start.
Rip up your list. Basically, this message was basically he talked about Joseph, and he talked about how Joseph had a dream that he was going to be the king and rule over his brothers and stuff like that, and how like a lot of times when you know he can imagine if Joseph, he said, okay, God, you're telling me I'm going to be king, awesome, so I'm going to do this to get there. but the route that God took him was not the route that was expected. You know, there was no route of royalty. It was like literally he went to prison. He was betrayed by his brothers. He was sold for 25 like gold shekels or whatever. And then he goes in slavery and he starts to get favor with the king.
He was lied on by a cougar. That part.
No, but before that, it's like he's in slavery and he's doing such a good job that the king has favor on him, you know, or the pharaoh or whatever. He has favor on him, so it's like
that was before.
It's before, but it's like in his mind you can think of him like, oh yes, it's finally about to happen, you know, like I'm getting close to the pharaoh. God told me that I was going to be the ruler someday, and look, I'm tight with him. And then bam, what happens? The cougar lies on him. She tries to get with him, lies on him, so then he's thrown into prison. So it's like he takes a couple steps forward, God gives him his dream, betrayed, in slavery. Couple steps forward, lied on, now he's in prison, you know? And then while he's in prison, two guys have dreams. He tells them about the dream. He says, hey, that dream basically means you're gonna be back where you were you're gonna be the cupbearer for the king.
You're gonna be good.
You're gonna be good with the king. When you're good with him, don't forget about me, please. I won't promise. It happens. 2 years later go by and still he's still in prison, you know? And then finally, king has a dream. Dude can interpret dreams, and then that's how it happens. Mm-hmm. So the whole point of his message was the fact that we sometimes have lists, and like we have to-do lists and different steps that we take in our lives to get to our goals and our dreams. And sometimes God has a completely different way, a different route for us to take. And we get so discouraged at the route that God has taken us that sometimes we scrap the list that God has, and we never actually reach where God wants us to be because we got too discouraged from it, you know? Mm-hmm. So his whole message was about like just squashing any expectation or any list that you may be completely set on, and be secure and be comfortable in taking the route that God takes you, even if it takes a little bit longer, even if you go through more things than you anticipated. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was just really cool because it relates to our life right now. You know, like earlier this year, we were really like trying to open up a cupcake restaurant in Reno. Like that was like we were like in talks with the franchise with the person in Vegas. The cupcakes are amazing. We had investors. We had the building. Like we were about to sign the lease for the lease. We were about to sign the lease the week that she was like, "Sorry, my financials aren't where they need to be. We can't do this right now."
And our hearts were crushed.
Yeah, we were like, because it's like, God, we're taking that step forward, and then bam.
Yeah.
Like 2 steps back, and it's like, okay, now what?
Personally, like for me, like I feel like this started even since last year. You know, like I graduated the year before. I was like, yes, I'm gonna get ready for this. Like, finally, like I'm gonna get my career, and I'm gonna start this, and I'm gonna like I had so many plans, like personally, like to make money or just and not that I'm upset about it because she's so gorgeous, but I get pregnant and I have to quit my job just because I can't work while I'm pregnant because I get so sick. And honestly, that was so discouraging for me. And I was like, what the heck? Why do I have to have such hard pregnancies to where all my life stops? Like I've been pretty much in quarantine since last year as my husband. Yeah, like there was days where I cannot get out of bed all day, all night. Like I was just so sick, and then these quarantines. So it just really make you be like, what the heck? Like I had all these plans, and now it's like ruined. But I feel like now looking back, and still, I feel like there was a plan for everything. Like there was a purpose for everything for me staying home. Like I know, and God knows why He did that, why He allowed that to happen up to this day. Yeah. And I feel like this was definitely not in our list, which is amazing because I feel like
we came up with this after the cupcake thing, right?
No, we started with this. We started with these conversations like in November.
Okay.
Honestly,
and
it was like really slow. Like it was happening like slowly because we didn't have a plan for it. Like it just happened.
It was just like a thing.
Eventually, it just worked up to this whole thing, even the podcast, which is really, really, really awesome. Whenever I feel like you rip your list up and you let God direct you. Yeah. This is what happens.
Yeah. And it's like He really will satisfy, Mm-hmm. Like He said, we were really discouraged about the cupcake thing, but it's like if we would have been upset about it, or if let's say that God didn't step in and we ended up signing the lease for 6 years, and we ended up taking out how much was it gonna be, like $50,000 loan or whatever from the investors do the cupcake restaurant, and then the quarantine hits, then we're just going to be really messed up and really behind, because who knows when things are going to lift, you know, like everything is still up in the air, even though they're saying that you can go into restaurants and stuff like that. It will be a new business, so it'd be hard to even gain traction and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's like God really protected us from something, even though at the time we thought it was messed up and we were just really discouraged. But now here we are, and it's like we have a camera and we have this thing behind us. So it's like, if this is to work out, you know, like if we are to be able to touch lives or anything comes up our brand and stuff like that, we're literally doing this on our own time. You know, we don't have to worry about any other people and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What did you think about his message?
I just thought it was really, really great and helpful to be able to see that. I mean, a lot of times you need a reminder. Like you need someone to tell you, like, hey, what are you doing? Or look at this. Why don't you look at it this way?
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of times we want to make a list that is not even our list. We make a list. I know I've done it. Like we make a list wanting to be like someone, wanted it to look like someone else's list.
Yeah.
Like you want to do what someone else's, like someone, you want to be in someone else's shoes, or do someone else's calling for life. It's so weird. Like you really want to, you make up your list, I don't know, saying like, oh, I want to be a singer, and you're a horrible singer, or you're like, oh, I'm going to be an Instagram model, but girl, you never work out, or boy, you don't like to go to the gym. You know what I'm saying? Or you like eat so unhealthy. Like, how is that going to happen? That's because it's just not you.
And I think for people like us who are like dreamers, like I love looking at people's stories, like especially athletes, you know, like, oh, Jordan was cut from his team. Oh, Kobe had this journey, or this is Steph's journey. And it's like, okay, cool, I'll have to just keep at it. But the way that he went to get to where he's at is not the same for me. And it's like a lot of these motivational speakers, or these people like LeBron James, oh, if I could do it, you can do it. I cannot physically do what LeBron has done, because he's 6'8", 250. Like, but a lot of times, like these celebrities and these superstars, they speak to us and they give us these steps like, oh, don't worry, just keep pushing, keep working at it. And we find ourselves trying to copy their lists and copy their journeys. Yeah. But that wasn't the journey that God has for us, nor is it the journey that we can even physically do sometimes, you know? So if we try to force ourselves into following somebody else's list instead of following the list that God has for us, we're going to be discouraged, you know, especially with music. Me doing music, according to like, I should quit right now, because my journey is not like anybody else's, you know? Yeah. And a lot of times we watch Breakfast Club or Sway in the Morning, and we look at how these people made it into the industry, how it worked out for them. We try to do those same steps, but it's not going to work, because it's just everything. Life is just so different, you know? Life
is different, and things are just going to work out differently for everybody.
Yeah.
And I think that's when you should rip up your list, because that list doesn't belong to you. So you end up take someone else's list, and it's never going to work out, because that's not who you are.
Exactly.
So I feel like the best thing to do, and I know it's hard to be like, oh, well, what should I do? I think I'm learning that that you should go based on what you being like really authentic to yourself, and what you like, and what you're good at, and just start there. Start doing something that you really, really do feel passionate about, not just something that, oh, that seems fun, I'm gonna try it because she tried it. Oh, she's or he tried it, and whatever. Do something just because, not because someone else, you saw it somewhere, but I don't know, like, oh, I've always wanted to write a book. Start writing a book.
Yeah.
Oh, I've always wanted to I don't know, like start sewing my own clothes, or putting like outfits together. Do that just because you love it. Don't do it because someone else is doing it. I think little by little, those things will lead you, and you'll start seeing the list that you're meant to have, I think.
And the dope thing about God is that you might say, okay, I want to write a book. So you might get in touch with some guy who is an editor or whatever, and he might talk to you, and then from that relationship, you end up in a different place, you know? And then you don't even end up, at the end of the day, you don't even end up writing the book, but because you just went after that, you ended up being in the right place where you needed to be. So I think that's really, really good. Yeah. Just be comfortable in knowing that sometimes things aren't going to go your way, and that's the thing. And I'm not trying to like shove God down people's throats, but it's just so freeing when you know that you can just relax in God's hands
and
you know?
trust that he knows exactly where he wants to take you.
Yeah, because then you're not frustrated. You're frustrated when it's like I want things to go like this and they're not. And a lot of times we get frustrated because we're not like the Michael Jordans of the world who every single thing they set their mind to, it works out. A lot of us aren't like that. Those are like anomalies. So understanding that is like, we have to be able to just be comfortable in knowing, okay, God, you have the best for me. I know that you got something coming for me. Even though I want this right now, it's not happening right now. So I'm not going to be frustrated and hate my life because of it. I'm just going to surrender and just bow out, you know?
Or like you said, everything works out. I don't think there's a person who everything works out for. Like everything works out for. I think we think it seems like that because of the documentaries that we see and stuff like that. But I feel like a lot of times we don't know. Like, it's crazy because we see so many actresses and actors or whatever, singers, who eventually we stop seeing, and then we're like, okay, where's this person now? And we look at them and look them up, and they have like this business there. They have, and then you talk to them, see them in the interviews now or the ones that are more recent, and they'll be like, this is something I always wanted to do. This is something I always had a passion for, more so than this. And you're like, oh, wait, what?
Yeah.
So they quit that. It seemed like that was their dream, but no, their dream was really this. And, you know,
just like Ellie's teacher. She was teaching, but her dream was to be a travel agent or a flight attendant.
Okay. Baby.
Okay, never mind. I'm not going to say what I was going to say. Okay, next topic. So, do you guys remember what Heelys are?
Yes,
Make a comment if you know what Heelys are. I never had Heelys, but
we were too broke to buy Heelys.
But if this podcast works out and like we get like millions of followers and we become famous, we're only gonna wear Heelys so that when people meet us
while we sit.
So that when people meet us in real life, we can literally glide away.
Oh my God.
It'll be 2 steps, but I met Luke the other day. Really, what was it like? It was amazing. Like he took 2 steps and he just glid away from us.
He glid. That sounds so weird. He glid away.
Glided away?
I'm not saying you're incorrect.
Either way it goes.
I'm saying it sounds funny.
I'm going to be gliding. That's really good. I cannot wait. There's the baby. Okay,
yeah,
we're almost done here,
they'll probably unfollow you after that.
No, they'll be like, yo, he literally was gliding.
Unfollow.
He took 3 steps first, but I saw him. He just floated away. Yeah, I think he did a trick. He kicked his foot out like that. Okay, next thing. Okay, so we're going to be launching a clothing brand, Selflish, as you guys can see.
Yes.
It's going to launch in June. We're thinking early to mid-June. Hopefully early June, we'll start taking pre-orders.
Yeah. So we're going to have T-shirts like this one, and we have different designs on our T-shirts. We're going to have the Selflish. It has the Selflish and the help me out here.
I'm trying to
the Selflish word.
The definition.
Plus the definition.
Yeah, so we have a bunch of different designs and stuff like that. They're gonna be really dope. Our main focus right now for this for our first collection is really gonna be the I love me. So it's the self-love. We're definitely on self-love, self-care, self-concern.
So you're gonna see a lot of like these hands right here with different nail polish, different shades of skin color.
And it's unisex, you guys. So
yes, it's really, really cool.
And they're really dope. The colors are gonna pop. It's gonna be amazing. We're doing a photo shoot next week
with our model. Shout out to all our models.
Shout out to all of our models. We're excited about this, and we thank everybody who's already been supporting. We have a lot of support coming already.
Yes, we already have people buying. We're also making bracelets.
Yes.
To like that look a lot like the ones on the.
They say I love me.
Yes, they say I love me, and they're gonna be really, really cute. And we also have stickers with like Selflish stickers, so you guys can put on your flash. You guys can put on your cell phones, on your laptops. Yeah, they look really, really cool.
Yeah, it's dope.
I don't know if you guys can see. I have my Selflish sticker. It looks really, really cool.
Can you see that?
And then you can. And then I also have the hand.
I think it's better.
Oh yeah, that's more clear. But you can see the hand, which I love too. That I love me. So it means I love me because so this means I love you in sign language. I love you in sign language.
I took sign language, by the way.
Yes. So then this just means I love me.
This means I love me.
Yes.
And we definitely are trying to like make it. You don't hear people saying "I love me" a lot.
No.
Like that's not like a thing.
It's awkward.
Yeah.
Like really hard to say sometimes.
Yeah, but it's fine. Like you should love yourself, you know.
I know,
like,
but
man,
it's really
I love
hard
me.
to say that.
But it's like I think honestly, if you were to be
self-centered.
Yeah, if you were to be in Starbucks and your barista is like, here's your thing, and you say thank you, it's really good, and they say, oh, you're welcome, I love me. You'll be like, what? You know, but it's just like it's like a confidence and stuff.
That's
like
so
that
funny
too.
though. If that'd be funny if you were to say that.
Yeah.
Like if you were to just be random and be like, oh, yeah, thanks. That's because I love me.
Yeah, I was like,
I love your outfit. Oh, yeah, I
Girl,
know.
I love it
I
too.
love me.
I love me and these shoes for sure.
That's really cool though if you can say that. I kind of envy like the people that not really envy, but I get a little bit like, oh gosh, I wish I was like that. Like the girls or the guys that are so confident to where they can literally say that. Like I've heard a few people be like, I look so good. Like honestly, I think I'm so cute.
Yeah.
Like I have a sister who's like that.
Shout out to Yoli.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, that is so awesome that you can literally say that and actually mean it.
Yeah.
Like that's
amazing.
And
that's the whole thing that we're trying to do.
And we're working on it.
Yep. Being able to say I love me and not feel guilty. Being able to not so much self-indulgence, but you know, just care for yourself and you can do something nice for yourself, you know. If you want to go buy yourself a 70-inch TV, feel free, don't feel guilty.
Of course.
It's completely unnecessary. Yeah, be responsible. Self-responsibility. We're all about self-responsibility. Okay. Yeah, so look out for that. We're going to be doing a lot more posts, and especially on our Instagram pages, especially my wife. So far, my wife, she has made, I've known her for 3 years. She has posted 6 times on Instagram since I've known you.
Really?
Probably.
Is it that bad?
It's going to get better, you guys.
It is. I'm working on it.
Yeah. And also on the We Are Selflish page that you can follow, and it's right here. Follow that right there.
Mine is right there.
And mine is right here.
Right.
You can follow that, and we're definitely going to be like keeping you guys posted. We're going to have like the photo shoot is going to be really, really dope. I'm so excited about this launch. I'm super excited about
Me
this.
too, you
like,
guys.
You guys don't even know.
They're
like
so cute. Did you tell them we have t-shirts? The crew,
tank tops. So we're going to have tanks, crew necks, t-shirts, crew neck sweaters, hoodies. Anything else?
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much it. Bracelets. I think we already covered everything.
And you guys, these are so soft and comfy.
They're really
and
comfy and cool. Oh, and this says shut up because this really dope rapper named Luke Wine, I think that's how you say his name. Luke Wynn, maybe?
I think it's Wynn.
He did this song. I think I forget the lyrics, but it starts off with shut up, Luke, you up, failure, you gonna lose. And a lot of times being selfish, this ties in with our brand because a lot of times you have like just inner voices that literally stop you from doing other things. You know, there's a voice that's telling you, oh, you're selfish if you do this, or oh, if you want to be selfless, you should do this, or there's that constant voice that wants to just limit you and hinder you. And there's also people. So to that voice, I say, shut up, Luke, or if my coworker is trash at the moment, shut up, Stefan. I don't know what Stefan.
Or Devon.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
But you can tell anybody who tells you not to do what you're trying to do because you're trying to be selfish and you're trying to take care of yourself, you can tell them to shut up. Say, put some tape on it.
Alrighty.
Okay. Oh, by the way, today, because you guys are going to see this on Friday, my EP drops, Book of Luke Chapter 3. I'm really excited. This is like the best body of work that I've ever put out, and I'm really, really excited about it. I think it's been years in the making. It's only like 5 songs, but they're probably the dopest 5 songs you'll ever hear. My son Ellie loves them. He loves them. He's actually featured on the album. Thank you, baby.
Mm-hmm.
I think Faith loves it
Faith
too.
loves them too.
Yeah, it's just, it's like the final chapter of this like little trilogy that I was doing. Check it out if you get a chance. It's really dope. I'm not even joking with you guys. It's really dope. And let me know what you guys think. Leave your comment below if you actually check it out. Also, if you've made it to this far, in our podcast, give them a hand clap, baby.
Round of applause.
Round of applause. Thank you so much for everybody who's tuned into this, for everybody who's supporting us. I know for now we may have stuttered a lot. I know I stutter a lot, but by week 20, it's gonna be on and rocking.
Also, for the first 5 subscribers, you guys get free bracelets.
Yes.
So subscribe and
subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're gonna
or even sharing, like sharing our page, you guys can get a free bracelet.
Yeah, just DM us your information, and we're gonna give you guys free stickers and First 5 people, okay?
Yep.
Yes, that's super dope. Also, we're gonna do some thank yous. Thank you to my mom, who she's supporting us. She's pretty much gonna buy merchandise for all of her grandchildren and herself.
Her whole family. Our whole family.
Yeah, thank yous for my mom. Everything she's been doing. My mom is the most generous person I know. Like, she's amazing. Thank you, Mommy. We love you so much. I wouldn't be selfish if it wasn't for you. And also thank you to Junior and Jessica, because they also have already, committed to purchasing some clothes too.
Pretty much our whole family. They're pretty awesome.
Yeah, they're super dope. It's really dope.
Yeah.
We're excited, and we're really humbled the fact that we have so much love and support going for us.
Yeah.
Because this is like a different venture, obviously, because she does nails, I rap, and now here's a clothing brand and a podcast. No, I'm saying that's like our background.
Yeah.
I mean, we had to do something because every job I applied to on Indeed didn't go anywhere. So here we are. Shout out to Amanda Martini, for all her work that she did, all the design that she's done for this. It's super dope. Like, all the time and the effort and the love that she's put into this has been mind-blowing and overwhelming. We're so grateful for her. Shout out to you, Tina. You're awesome. And Jennifer, shout out to you. You're going to be the photographer next week. Appreciate you. And all the models who are going to be there next week, we are super excited to get you guys on board. You have any other thank yous?
No, I just want to thank everybody who's already supporting us and who's planning.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for watching.
Yeah, thank you to my mom and my dad-in-law, for their support and everything too, because they loved it too. They love the idea, and they're backing us up. And it's just like, it was such a blessing when we did talk to them a couple Sundays ago, the fact that they said that this is something that we should really pursue.
Yeah, it's really awesome.
Yeah, just being able to give your ideas to people who back you up is like.
Yeah, and the fact that they were like, this is so you guys.
Yeah.
It was really nice to hear.
So shout out to you guys. Shout out to my family. Big Will, thank you. Angel, thank you for your edits. And I think we're pretty much done.
Yep.
You want to show them the baby before we go? Okay. You guys can see the baby next week. Okay. Is there any last words, baby?
No, thank you guys. Love you.
Thank you. Okay, see you next time. We're gonna plan on doing something special to end these. I don't know what to do. I kind of wish I can play them one of my songs, but we don't have the technology.
Baby, we're good.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
I may not be able to play you guys one of my songs that are gonna be on the album.
No.
Okay, the baby's crying, but we're gonna
we gotta go.
Thank you for watching us, our first podcast episode. There will be more. So tune in every Friday at 10 a.m. Right? That's the time.
That was amazing.
Okay, you guys have a great day, a great weekend, and stay safe. God bless. Bye-bye.